Hello, everyone. My name is Linda. Welcome to CTR, where we discuss and talk about issues related and regarding cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer. The name of the cancer is called plasma cell myeloma, stroke leukemia. That's what doctor said yesterday. So anyway, welcome back. So please subscribe, like my videos. Even if you're not going to watch the whole thing, just press like so that you can support me as I try and relate the stories about cancer. Anyway, today I want to talk about hospitals. I've written some few notes here, just 4 points. I don't want this to be a long video. So only 4 points. The first point is every time when you hear the word hospital or when you are told that you're going to a hospital, it just reminds you that I've got cancer every time. Um, I don't know about other cancer patients and cancer survivors. You can comment below and tell me how you deal with hospitals, but it's not to be honest, to be in a hospital is not a bad experience because everybody there is there to help you and to help you recover and to give you medication that you need, so that you can get better. And but it's not an easy process and procedure that you just go in and out and everything is fine. It doesn't work that way, especially when it comes to cancer treatment. Everything there's not easy, especially because we really don't know how our bodies reacts to everything that we get from the hospitals. But yeah, it just reminds me, to be honest, it reminds me every time I'm going to the hospital that I've got cancer. I don't know about you guys. You can comment or tell me what you think. The second point that happens when I'm going to the hospital or even hear the word hospital is that you realize that my life is really not in God's hands. My life is not, it's not predictable. You really don't know about the future. You really don't know about the future because you live like for today. Let me just say that you live for today. It is not easy. You live for today. But the good news is yesterday when we were talking to the doctor, I could see now, the long-term planning because, I hope I'm done with chemo. But at the moment, no more chemo. So the only chemo that I'll get is through tablets, pills. So that's how I'm going to get my chemo. I've been doing it anyway. So, but it kind of feel better now that I know that at least there's a little bit of planning and a future ahead. But if you are on treatment and you're going to the hospital, things are not that simple because you really don't know how your disease will react to the treatment that the doctors are giving to to us, to me. So it just becomes a tricky bit. So, but which is why it helps to pray and meditate. If you're not a Christian, it helps just to put your thoughts together and to speak to somebody. I know that most of us, we've got good family support system. It's good to have a family support system. I'm grateful to my family, my wife and kid that are always not hard on me, just giving me leeway with stuff and support me anyway to beat and fight this cancer. So anyway, the third point is that it's that if you're going to do chemo, you know for a fact that you don't know firstly how your body will react that week or that month when you're receiving chemo. I was doing chemo every week. So you know that if the chemo is, for example, the consolidation chemo, English is difficult. So anyway, the chemo was on Wednesday for me. And the good thing is that this time I was getting injection on my tummy, which was very, very easy. It wasn't like the last chemo that they need to find veins and put the vein, which was creating more stress because during the time I was getting fat because of the steroids, and because I was eating too much as well. So the stress of finding the good vein that will work and then stay there for minutes. Sometimes you don't know if your body will do well in accepting the chemo, so which means you might stay there for a few minutes or you might stay there for a long time. But anyway, it's all creates chemo creates a little bit of it just you're just not comfortable. It just makes you very, very uncomfortable. And then in that day that it's either you're going to have a little bit of side effects or not even a little bit. Sometimes you're going to have side effects. If it's not that day, it's the following day or the third day after you've received chemo that you'll be very much uncomfortable. And the fact that the issue that we're not talking about it too much, I hope I'll get time to talk about it in this video, is that when you just receive chemo and you go home, you can't sleep. That's the problem. You just have a little bit, not even a little bit, you just have sleepless nights, at least 3 days or 4 days, and then you're going to get 2 days in a week. In 7 days, you get maybe proper 2 days of rest. And then you're going to do chemo again, and then you're struggling for another few days without sleeping, and then you sleep again. So chemo is not it's not a for me, maybe other cancer patients, they dealing with it better. Well, I thought I still think I did well when it comes to chemo, but still, there were some few things there and there, and that you think that, oh, you just when you go to the hospital, you remember that, okay, it's chemo day, so which means I will be uncomfortable for a few days. So it's not an easy thing to do. And another thing, when you go to the hospital, that is kind of not an easy thing to deal with. It's just that sometimes it raises emotions, not every week, especially if you're used to cancer. In the beginning, you really struggle every week because it raises the emotions of not knowing what's going to happen with your life. Everything comes into your brain. You think about, I'm going to leave my family. It seems as if my time's up. But honestly speaking, I'm grateful to God that He still give me this life, borrow me this life again. It's like a second chance, and give me a shot in a second chance in life. So, but to be honest, it just gives you emotions. So I'm just going to name few words. Some they might be emotion words, some they might not be. For example, I know for me, I know that I'll be feeling very anxious, when there's something new, when I'm going to the hospital and there's something. Let me just tell you about my experience last week. And I knew that I was going to see the doctor after I finished my chemo, I was told. And then they gave me the date. So I was so much anxious because I didn't know that what's going to happen next after I finish my chemo. So that creates a lot of anxiety. I've managed because, as I said, that the support system at home is good. So I talked about it so that if it carries on, so I can get help if I could. But I seem to manage. This week was better before Wednesday, so Monday and Tuesday were better. Especially I was busy over the weekend, so I didn't notice any emotions. So, but there are words like that comes into our minds. It's like anxiety, it's fear, it's I don't know if this can get into emotions. I wish the ladies were here to help us. Uncertainty, you're just not sure how sure things are going to happen. And anger, that's the emotion that nobody looks at, because nobody wants to say, I'm angry about this disease. It just makes me angry to think about it, that all of a sudden I've got cancer, and then you just get that anger. The silly thing is, you don't know where to direct that anger to. If you are a Christian, I always say it's not even to direct it to God, because we need to be seen to revere our Almighty God, which is good. But the fact is, I always think it's even fine to be angry with God, because we don't call for this. Nobody calls for cancer to come into your body. We don't call for this. So I don't think anybody deserves it. But having said that, anyway, anger comes. It's fine. I dealt with anger. With me, everything needed to be very quickly. I needed to deal with my emotions quickly, because I needed to decide about the treatment. And the other word is frustration. We really do get frustrated. Sometimes we forget the words of the medication, especially if I'm going for blood test. My wife is good with the words and the milligrams and all these grams things. I'm not. And especially because, when you're dealing with emotions, you don't pay particular attention to other things. I'm not there yet. So yeah, it just creates that. Those are the few words that I can think about at the moment. emotions. So my point is, try and if you get into emotional stuff, try and put the words down, write them down. I write those words down to say, this is how I'm feeling today, this is how I'm feeling today, so that I know which day, when that I was feeling that emotion. So that's about hospital. It's a sad story for us, but we still need to go to the hospital and meet our doctors and our nurses, unfortunately. But it doesn't create good a space in our hearts and in our heads. I don't know about other people. Maybe other people enjoys to go to the hospital. I don't. Especially the hospital I'm going to, it's nice, but I still don't enjoy going there. I love people there. I like the fact that they're helping as much as they can, but the fact is, it still reminds us that we've got this terrible uh, disease that is in our bodies. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.